well, what kind of wife are you looking for? And he dropped the list on me. He gave me tasks, he gave me objectives. I was like, understood. I'm gonna get on this page tomorrow, ASAP. You got it. Say less, say less. And so I went to work. I went to wife school, honestly. He taught me how to make the
Mm.
things that he wanted, the way that he wanted them. He helped to put me on a schedule because there's no homemakers besides my grandmother in the family. So I just didn't know, and we figured it out together. We had our little IKEA marriage, and I'm very happy that we did it. And he's also a lot happier too. You know, what's something that doesn't get talked about in men's improvement spaces? It's like marriage is a bad word,
Hmm.
but my husband has been a lot more affectionate since we got married. Like there's something different about me being his wife, him being my husband, where he's like, I like this a lot more. But you wouldn't think so because he was a bachelor for 48 years.
What made him switch? Like, what made him move over into not wanting that, but wanting what essentially is almost the complete opposite
Mhm.
from a boss chick, but a girl that actually leans on him, depends on him, seeks his guidance and his insight, and then is ready to really be able to do whatever it takes to, make the relationship awesome.
I would say that we tried it out. So is this a good time to get into the Kevin Samuels call?
Yeah, we can get into it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sure. So,
This is listen. I'm just a guest. This is your show.
okay. Thank you. That's very kind of you. So I wanted to get my husband. I think he was my boyfriend at the time. I don't think he had proposed yet. I can't remember. That part is not all too important. But I called Kevin's show to figure out what kind of gift to get him because he out earned me. And I was like, well, he can buy whatever he wants. So what am I going to get him? And then Kevin was like, are you married? Do you want kids? How old is this man? He went in there with a surgical scalpel. I got my behind handed to me. I was like, I don't know. He couldn't tell me what kind of cigar to get. He just wasn't having it. So he basically was pointing out, that's an older man. Older men are not typically in the game to get married. You might be being used. You need to either leave him or have do something about it. And I got off the call. He's very upset. Very upset. He's like,
You were bothered
he's the
by it
one.
because all you wanted to know was what
He
kind of cigar to get him, and then oh my god, that's Kev.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was really funny. So my husband, I think he was my boyfriend at the time, he got really mad because he basically came to me. He was like, if you wanted to get married, why didn't you just say so? Why'd you have to tell 800,000 people? And then I was like, huh, I could have asked for marriage the whole time. The whole time. And he's looking at me like, yes, dummy. The whole time you could have said something. I was like, okay, all right, fair point. And so we ended up having more of those conversations. We went to couples counseling. We got back on the same page. And then there came a point in time where, I realized I wanted to stay home, but we weren't married. And I thought that that was a big ask to make of my husband. But at the same time, I started to realize the worth that I had as a woman, what I actually bring to the table, which is quite a bit, in my opinion. I could rattle off at any point in time. And I was like, look, like, why won't you marry me? A millionaire would marry me. Why won't you? And he told me, he said they would marry you, but as soon as they got to know you, they would send you right back. So then we had to have another conversation.
Wait. Back up,
Mhm.
back up, back up. Say that one more time.
Mhm. He told me that a millionaire would marry me, but once he got to know me, he would send me right back.
Girl, you was getting sliced and diced all up and down. All right, so
Yeah.
how did that impact you? What were you thinking after you got had that conversation?
Well,
You was
I
getting a lot
was
of hard
like,
truths.
it, I guess it had to happen. I guess it had to happen, which is, it turned out to be a good thing in the end. So I got a little bit upset because my husband doesn't lie, so I knew he was being honest. I was like, he might be saying something that makes sense right now. I was like, fine. So I asked him, okay, well, what kind of wife are you looking for? And he dropped the list on me. He gave me tasks, he gave me objectives. I was like, understood. I'm gonna get on this page tomorrow, ASAP. You got it. Say less, say less. And so I went to work. I went to wife school, honestly. He taught me how to make the
Mm.
things that he wanted, the way that he wanted them. He helped to put me on a schedule because there's no homemakers besides my grandmother in the family. So I just didn't know. And we figured it out together. We had our little IKEA marriage, And I'm very happy that we did it, and he's also a lot happier too. You know what's something that doesn't get talked about in men's improvement spaces? It's like marriage is a bad word.
Hmm.
But my husband has been a lot more affectionate since we got married. Like there's something different about me and me being his wife, him being my husband, where he's like, I like this a lot more. But you wouldn't think so because he was a bachelor for 48 years.
Yeah, but y'all change us.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the
we do.
thing that I tell people all the time is that the power that women have has nothing to do with anything outside of who they inherently are, which is your femininity. And we'll pay attention, we'll evolve, but it's not about how loud you say it. And I even have conversations with people when I coach them a lot of times, and I say, yo, communication is more than just what's being said, it's how it's said. It's 90% body language. It's how you move when you're around me. You can say anything to anybody if you say it the right way, so on and so forth. But a lot of women don't get that. They don't catch it. And I don't know if it's as a result of how they were raised or the people that they surround themselves by, which is really unique for me to be hearing you say this, considering that people act like the way that my wife act around me is an anomaly. Do you get called an anomaly? Do you get called something that's just, oh wait, this type of woman don't exist? She understood the assignment. He gave her a list and she didn't bug back. She didn't say, oh well, you need to do this. You just said, yo, okay, well, I'm about to make sure and take care of this tomorrow. Do you get labeled
Oh.
like an anomaly or some kind of outer space alien that then moved or something like that outside of the hyenas and the clacking hens coming at you?
Oh, you'd be surprised how many young men are upset with me too. We'll probably get into
Really?
that at some
Wait,
point.
wait, wait a minute. What?
Oh yeah. They're very angry with me. Yeah.
Young guys are angry with you? Why?
So both men and women don't like being objectified, and but we naturally objectify each other. That's just what we do. Men are success objects, women are sex objects. Women don't like being sexually objectified, and they push back, right? But men don't like being objectified in terms of their resources. And so these young men, this is what I mean by it's always a projection. They are 20 years old, they're
Hmm.
broke, they can't get a housewife. So they're very resentful, or sometimes they'll tell me that, and if you're broke, just say that, like, sir, you really don't understand. Like, why don't you go meet some high value men, and then you'll figure out what I'm doing here. So they lash out quite a bit, and that's how I know the dating market has to be ridiculous because it's these same angry men. They're mad at me. They want these 50-50 relationships. Well, those don't tend to work. I mean,
Wow.
or at least their sex lives are awful. I don't know which way to say
Do
that.
you think that okay, all right. So you just threw something into the mix that like it's got my head spinning a little bit because
Mhm.
guys often will say what they want, but then they don't get the feedback that you're giving as far as a woman that's successfully married and you got what you wanted and you listen to the advice and whatever and you move the way that men say that women should move, but then you're
Mhm.
still getting pushback from men. I like to call them
Mhm.
modern men, from modern men that still don't like how you move.
Mhm.
That's crazy to me.
It is crazy, but they don't have fathers. Again, can we please get some daddies back in the home? Like, I don't think it's that hard, sis. Like, I'm just saying, I don't think so. But for these young men, they don't realize that they're not going to hit their financial stride if they're hard charging until their late 40s. There's just not a lot of wealthy young men around. And the ones that are, I mean, you as a woman, you have to be competing with race car models. I don't know about these other broads, but I like to eat some snacks. So that was never on the menu for me.
But you pretty fit though.
I am. I am. Don't get me wrong. Like I do look good. I care about my body for my husband, but also for myself. Most of the time, my husband even tells me if I'm gaining weight, it's because it affects my self-esteem long before it bothers him.